Perhaps the only place on Earth that remains largely unexplored and shrouded in mystery is the ocean. Oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. Most oceans have an average depth of 3.7 kilometers, but one of them reaches more than 11 kilometers deep, the Mariana Trench. Deep down, in freezing cold and under unimaginable pressure, it welcomes creatures waiting to be discovered. But do we really know what remains unexplored at such depths? And how was this trench discovered? What connection did it have with the Soviet Union? What was the secret behind the two mysterious sound recordings coming from the Mariana Trench over time? In this video, we will answer all these questions and embark on a mysterious journey to the depths of the Mariana Trench. About 180 million years ago, during the Jurassic period, when dinosaurs ruled the land, a battle began in the depths of the ocean. Two massive tectonic plates collided slowly but unstoppable. The Pacific plate started to slide under the Philippine plate. This immense weight pulled the ocean floor downward, and over time, the deepest trench on the planet was formed, the Mariana Trench. It stretches 2,550 kilometers along the ocean floor. Its deepest point reaches 10,984 meters. Recent measurements suggest it is even deeper than 11,000 meters. Horizontally, it spans the size of continents, and vertically, it is deep enough to fit Mount Everest inside. The first planned exploration of this site was in 1872. Chapter 1: Discovery. The HMS Challenger set out on one of the greatest scientific ocean explorations in history. The goal was to map the ocean floor, covering approximately 70,000 miles, equivalent to one-third of the distance to the Moon. Measurements were taken at 350 different points using a long iron rod attached to a rope. When the rod touched the seabed, the depth was calculated. Through this expedition, the first rough map of the ocean floor was created. At one point, near Guam in the Western Pacific, they lowered the rope. As it unspooled from the wooden reel with a creaking sound, it kept descending. Minutes passed, but the rope still went down. 3,000 meters, 5,000 meters, 7,000 meters. The crew looked at each other in disbelief. Finally, the reel stopped. The measured depth: 4,475 fathoms, 8,185 meters. Silence instantly enveloped the ship. They had never encountered such a depth before. A seemingly bottomless void under the sea. Unknowingly, the HMS Challenger crew had written the first page in the history of this discovery. Few people know that the first recorded depth was actually inaccurate. Currents and rope bending weren't accounted for. Another little-known fact is that the initial idea of mapping the ocean floor wasn't purely scientific, it had military roots. The ultimate goal was to identify suitable areas for underwater cables and optimize naval routes.
Years later, in 1951, the British research ship HMS Challenger 2 sought to use the then-new sonar technology. Sonar, discovered in the early 1900s and widely used by the 1940s to detect enemy submarines, sends sound waves underwater. When these waves hit solid objects, they bounce back, revealing what lies beneath and how deep it is. This method was faster and cheaper than dropping a rope. Using this technology, they confirmed that the Mariana Trench's depth was around 10,900 meters. The deepest point in the ocean. If a 102-story Empire State Building were placed here, it would look like a toy. This spot was named Challenger Deep in honor of the discovery. Chapter 2: Journey to the Depths. Exploring the trench posed a major challenge. The pressure at the bottom was 1,000 times higher than normal, equivalent to having the weight of 3 Eiffel Towers on top of you. To visualize this, researchers placed a mannequin head in a pressure chamber. The result was both fascinating and comical. The head compressed drastically, despite being filled with solid rubber. The thought of what would happen to a human was terrifying. In 1953, the ambitious Swiss explorer Auguste Piccard aimed to observe Challenger Deep firsthand. A pressure-resistant submarine, a bathyscaphe, was required. Unlike conventional submarines, bathyscaphes are designed for vertical dives to extreme depths. The first tests began in Italy in 1954, reaching only 3,500 meters. In 1958, the U.S. Navy purchased the Trieste and modified it to withstand 11,000 meters. The first dive into the Mariana Trench took place on January 23, 1960, with Jack Pickard, August Sun, and U.S. Navy diver Don Walsh volunteering. They spent 9 hours in the cramped vessel, descending at 3 miles per hour. After 3,000 feet, darkness enveloped them completely. They witnessed a miraculous scene, bioluminescent creatures lighting up the abyss. After about 5 hours, they reached the bottom, 36,000 feet deep. Here, 99.9% of humanity would never set foot. A world of darkness and silence. As they approached the bottom, they observed soft mud-like sediment and few creatures. Most striking was a 30 centimeters long white flatfish, seemingly impossible at such depths, challenging decades of biological assumptions. The U.S. quickly capitalized on the achievement. Following the Soviet Union's 1957 space milestone, the U.S. proudly announced it had reached the deepest point on Earth in 1960. The region below 6,000 meters became known as the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. Perhaps this is why mysterious sounds recorded from the Mariana Trench years later sparked imaginations about unknown life forms.
Chapter 3: Mysterious Sounds. In 1997, a recording by NOAA captured a sound unlike any known ocean noise, detectable from 3,000 kilometers away. Scientists speculated it could belong to a gigantic sea creature or an unknown geological phenomenon. In late 2014, another strange sound was recorded west of the Mariana Trench. After months of analysis, it was attributed to an unusual call of a minke whale, Balænoptera acuta rostrata. Yet questions remain: why were these sounds only detected at certain times and near the Mariana Trench? Today, the source of these mysterious sounds and what lies in the Hadal Zone remains unknown. Perhaps one day, technology will reveal the truth hidden in this abyss. Until then, the Mariana Trench remains one of our planet's greatest mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and reserve your place in this mysterious world. I'm Dianoia, see you in the next video.